Hello, everyone. We're actually back for Big Girl Brunch for March. Welcome. Fun fact, this is the latest one I've recorded so far this year. Like, it is now March 29, and I'm cutting it really close, but March has been crazy for me. I have been transitioning to a new position at work, and honestly, I've been having a really hard time. I am more anxious. I am just feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. And it's not that I don't like what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing. It's more I need a little hand holding, and I don't think I'm getting enough hand holding because people think that I just automatically know what I'm about to do because I'm Gen Z. I don't want to talk like so specific about the job, but you get it. It's been hard. And then outside of work, I've also been doing volunteer work, which is good, but it is very tiring sometimes because I do have work as well. And it's not something I'm forced to do. I do want to do it. That's why I am volunteering. Um it's a lot. And then I also had to prepare for an event to perform at. I was the guest for Third Thursdays this month, and that was really cool. But again, preparation for that was insane, at least for me. Like mental preparation, creative preparation, I would say. So yeah, it's been a lot. I don't think that I will be cutting a lot of this stuff out when I edit just because I really don't have time to edit that much. I'm just gonna do the bare minimum. I'm so sorry. Uh so yeah, whatever. The last episode I did, I think I had pink hair. Right now I have light blue hair. I'm about to change it again. So as always, do not get attached. It's also getting longer and longer, and of course that's just what hair does, but I'm still gagged every time. What else has been happening in my life? It was also cool that I got invited to a talk to my org alumni org no alma mater. What, like my previous org when I was in college. um it is a sign of aging, but it feels like I guess I'm doing something with my life if they invited me, right? I guess I'm doing something right, even if it does not feel like I am doing anything right. Speaking of doing that talk, though, I'm gonna tell you a story before we get into the topic. So, going to the event yesterday, to my talk, I was. Hold on, I'm gonna flip this fan over because why is it hitting something? Um, okay. So, going to my talk yesterday, I took a grab because it was raining a little. And honestly, I have just been really tired. A lot has been going on this past month, and I feel like I just haven't been able to lie down and rest as much as I would like to. So, yeah, I just took a grab because this is all too much. I'm really tired because I also have class, right? Anyway, so I do that. I take a grab, and I'm like, thank God I don't have to worry about sweating while commuting, etc., etc. Because I don't want to look like a sweaty, gross woman when I get to my talk, right? It's not a very good impression. Anyway, so I'm in the grab. One of my thoughts was that, oh my God, I'm getting really dizzy from riding this grab. It, it's like they kept going and stopping, and I was just getting really, really dizzy. And also, I was on my phone, so that was another thing I shouldn't have been doing. But I don't know. I guess I'm addicted to my phone like everyone else. I'm guessing. So there's that. I was already really dizzy, and then the second thought was, oh my God, What if you leave your phone in the Grab? Like, what if you accidentally leave your phone, you forget about it, and then you you leave you leave the Grab, like your trip is done. How do you find your phone? You don't have the number of the guy, and you don't have your phone. I think this thought, just one of the many random thoughts that I had while I was in that Grab. So the thought is gone. I am inside Ateneo. I grab my ID because they have to check it to let me in inside. I show it. And then they're like, okay, I am holding my ID and my tumbler in one hand. I was holding my phone, I think, in the other hand. And then I go to this driveway where my pin was. So he was going to drop me off there. But the driveway was closed. So he couldn't even drop me off there. I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be closed. So just drop me off on the sidewalk. Which in any other case would have been fine. But in Ateneo, sometimes or oftentimes, at least from my experience, guards would go up to you and be like, hey, you can't go down there. You have to go to the next drop off point. And I didn't want to do that because that was my pin. And also, I just wanted to get off the Grab already. And so I tell him to stop there. I grab all of my things, my backpack, my ID, my tumbler. I rush out and I go have my ID checked. And then, wait, no. Before I have my ID checked again to get into the college campus, I'm like, wait. I can't feel my phone in my pocket. There's the rectangular presence of my phone is suddenly gone. And so I'm like, oh my God, I think I left it in the Grab. And I'm like, no, maybe not. It's probably just in my back pocket. That's kind of stupid of me if I forgot it inside the Grab. And I try looking for it for a bit and it's gone. And the Grab was at this point just a few meters away. I tried to wave at him to tell him that I forgot something in his Grab, and it seemed like he slowed down for a little. And then when I was running to him, he sped up. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna catch him. But then I still try to run across the college campus to the other side because maybe I would catch him then. I do not catch him then because he's in a car and I am only a person who is not a runner. I don't catch him. And at this point, I don't know what to do because my talk is like in 30 minutes and like in 20 minutes, I think, and I don't have my phone. I can't contact the person I was talking to for the talk. So I am standing there, bald and panicked, thinking what to do. And then I just really felt so helpless. I didn't have anything on me. I didn't have any other gadget. I didn't have my iPad or my laptop. Like any other day, I would have been able to contact someone because I would be bringing my iPad or my laptop. But because I was just going to do the talk, I told myself I didn't need anything else. So I'm standing there thinking, what do I do? I feel naked and stupid and helpless. And then I realize, oh, my office is really close. So I go to my office. And in the lobby, I greet our guard. Well, no, I greet the RAs there and the lab head who are chatting. But then I tell them, hey guys, I can't talk to you right now. I think I left my phone inside the Grab that I was riding. And then they're like, oh no. And then I tell the guard, hi, kuya, something. Can I call a cell phone number from your telephone? And then he's like, okay, what number is it? I try calling my phone number. But obviously, the driver's not going to answer it because I ride at the back of the Grab and right behind the driver. So he wouldn't really see my phone because it's right behind him, and he wouldn't hear my phone because I am a young person still, so it's on silent mode all of the time. It will vibrate, of course, but he's not gonna hear that. But I knew it was kind of a futile attempt, but you just try everything at that point. And I'm like, okay, I need to call my mom. Thankfully, when I was in high school, my mom, well, not high school, I think, grade school pa lang, my mom forced me to memorize her number because in certain situations, you would need your mom's number. And at the time, I was like, when would I need to have your number memorized? I can just check it from my phone. Thank God, she forced me to do that. And thank God, she never changed her number. So I dial her number, it rings, and then in a weirded out voice, she's like, hello? Because it's a telephone number, right? And I'm like, huffing and puffing and sweating and panicked. I'm like, it's me. I think I lost my phone inside the Grab. And then obviously, she can't panic because she's my mother, but also she is panicked. And I tell her, the first thing you have to do is to tell my partner, who's gonna tell our friend, who's gonna tell the person I'm talking to for the talk because you're org mates. Two, my partner is gonna tell my friend to tell the person I'm talking to for the talk that I'm gonna be late because my phone is gone and I don't know what to do. My mom's like, okay, how do we... And then I say, I don't know what to do. How do I even try to reach this guy? Because he's not going to see my phone. And then I ask him, okay, maybe the receipt gives the driver's phone number. And I was already thinking that's not a big possibility, but we still check. She opens my laptop, checks my email. The receipt is already there. Number's not there. I'm like, okay, got it. Just tell my partner first. Like the first part. And then tell my Lola to keep calling my phone while you're doing all of these things, just so like the person holding it, if someone is holding it, has the opportunity to answer at any time. She's like, okay, we're gonna do that. And I say, okay, I don't know when I'll be able to contact you today. Just do what you can do. At this point, she was trying to file a report for losing an item inside the Grab. But we're kind of lost because it has never happened before. I was personally scared because I just got that phone last year, October, so it hasn't been with me for a long time, and I paid for it with my own money. That's the first phone that I really got with my own money, and it's a really good phone. And everything is there. My entire life is there. Again, probably addicted to my phone. So this happens. I'm still sweating, huffing and puffing. The lab head was apparently listening to my conversation on the phone and was like, this happened to me, and just gave me tips, ran me through the process that might have to happen for me to get back my phone. So grateful to this person. They tried calling my phone, they tried messaging me as well, I think, just to try to get a hold of whoever had it. And they were just a stable force during a time that I really needed someone to tell me that this is what we're going to do. Because I couldn't reach anyone else aside from my mom through the phone. And so that was really, really helpful. After that, I mean, mid-conversation, we're talking, the phone rings, the lobby phone rings. Then I'm like, I hope that's my mom. And the guard picks up the telephone. He's like, "Hello po." Yes po, ma'am. And then he calls me and then says, "It's my mother." I'm like, "Okay." She tells me where my phone is. It's the other point of the school. Like, it's inside the campus. It's like one of the farthest points at... What am I talking about? So, magkabilang dulo kung nasan ako, tsaka yung pinaroroonan ng phone ko at the time. But it is in a guardhouse. Someone left it there, a student. So I'm confused because how will a student leave it there? I thought it was, I thought I just dropped it accidentally on the street or something and they found it and they left it with a guard. But I didn't know. So I run to this, I run to the station because not the station. I run to the guardhouse where it is on the other side of the campus. I'm like I'm dead at this point. And I am a walker, but it's more the anxiety of everything that happened. I go there. The guard's like before I even asked, he seemed like he knew that I was going to ask for the phone. And so he gave it to me, told me that a senior high student gave it to the guard because they were the next passenger in that grab and they found it and left it there. And I am so, so grateful. There are so many angels in my life, I think. I think my guardian angel works overtime at this point because I also lost my wallet a few years ago and I lost my money, but all of my cards were returned to me and I still use them to this day. So, you know, that's amazing. Mm, so yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. That's what's been happening to my life. But actually, we're gonna be talking about making and writing after school. Basically, art the basically art making after school, or maybe I don't know. I think it's creating and writing after school is the right keywords to describe this topic. So again, recently, an org invited me to do a talk about storytelling and advocacy and making things and having important stories be heard. And I think to myself, oh, I guess I can do that talk because I am telling stories again. I am making things. When I tell stories, it's like different forms of art and text, and you know what I mean. It's just the process of creation. So I think to myself, when did I really start making and writing again? Because I think for a few years I was really stuck after graduation because one, I was trying to heal from the burnout that creative writing put me in, and two, I was working a job that was not forcing me to be creative. And I think I'm the kind of person who needs to be forced to make things, or else I will just never make stuff because I am afraid that they will be bad, especially writing. Like, I can do fun art because I don't identify as a visual artist. But if it's writing, since I identify as a writer, I'm so scared to open a blank document. I I look back and think of why I was really struggling for 2 years. And again, of course, it is the burnout. And my job is also so new to me. It's such a new world, learning about science and learning about policy. They're really not what I know. completely out of my comfort zone. So it has taken me a while to understand and be somewhat confident that I was supposed to be there. I honestly, I still don't fully think that I belong in this space, but it has grown on me. I think I am learning a lot. I think I learn every day at this job, and that is really good. I don't think it is a space that I want to be in for the rest of my life, but I think it is a good space to be in for now. And my work also entails a lot of travel. Like the last year, especially 2024, every month almost, I had a work trip, and it was just tiring. Once a month doesn't sound so bad, but really, it's like having a week out of the house every month is insane. I feel like I'm being uprooted every time that I'm just about to find my groove again. And so I think that's one barrier that I was trying to deal with. For some reason, I just felt so busy and I couldn't even think of making anything because I was thinking of all of these other things. I was also doing beauty content for a long time. I I started TikTok 2020, but then I started pivoting to beauty maybe 2021, 2022. So it was a solid maybe 2, 3 years of just pumping out content and hoping that I skyrocket to quote unquote bigger fame. And I was doing all of these videos because I didn't want to lose the connections I made in the beauty space. I also didn't want to be kicked out of PR lists. I just didn't want to be forgotten. I didn't want to be forgotten. Does that sound correct? I think so. And yeah, it was the kind of thing where I was spending all of my time making this thing, making beauty content that sometimes I was happy about. I mean, I still love makeup, but it's just like the process of making this content. It feels like it doesn't feel like a meaningful process of art making or writing, and I think that has bothered me for a while, but I didn't want to acknowledge it because I was so blinded by the PR that I got. I was so blinded by people knowing me. I was blinded by the extra money that I got. I was blinded by the possibility that maybe I will become a model or something, like have these crazy opportunities, and then I would earn a lot. And it's not because I'm so thirsty for money. I don't want to be a billionaire or anything, but I do want to have like a stable financial situation, and I want to be able to save up for the future because I know this is not going to be forever, like the influencing thing. But sooner or later, I really just had to acknowledge that. Sorry, there's this dog crying. Poor guy. I'm getting distracted. Uh, but sooner or later, I really just had to acknowledge the fact that pumping out beauty content so often is taking up a lot of my free time that I might be able to use for writing or any other creative thing that I want to do if I give it up. Like if I give up making beauty content and committing, like giving up my commitment to beauty content, I would be able to maybe write a play again. I would be able to maybe revive this podcast, even if it's monthly, because I do have a job and I do have like I do volunteer for an organization that I am really happy about. I just thought maybe if I spent my time on things that aren't beauty content creation, I would be more happy and feel more fulfilled. And it's not to say that I never liked beauty. I do love beauty. I love makeup. I still love the process of putting on a full face. It's more, it's so, takes so long to film and stuff. And it's gonna be a video that I'm not even happy about. I just kind of felt obligated to do it. There are times when it's fun, when I can get creative. The Vice Cosmetics audition video is still like so fun to me. I wish I can do that again in the future or something like that. That's beauty adjacent. But yeah, I think you get what I mean. So I guess the the thing I wanted to impart here is how did I find my groove again when it comes to art making and writing? How did I become a more creative person again? And this is coming from someone who is still in the beginning stages of, I think, figuring my process again as a writer and as an artist, I guess. I I am a baby in this space currently, I think, because I took such a long break and I felt I didn't grow for a long time. But anyway, so how did I get to this point that I feel like I have a healthier relationship with the process of writing and art making? So, I wanted to tell you about Mga Apo, which has an event called Jabber. Basically, Jabber is a storytelling open mic. What does that mean? You can basically perform any kind of story. So, for example, you can do a retelling of a myth, of Filipino folklore. You can read or perform like a short story that you wrote. You can read from a children's storybook. There's often a theme that people follow for the month, and then the story just has to revolve around that theme. And before Jabber, there was experimental or like initial story circles where the main organizer and like the founder of this event and the organization just tested out having people she was close to tell stories, and I was a part of that. And I I just had a lot of fun telling stories again and not having to worry so much about form immediately, because obviously form and craft are very very important, especially in like storytelling. That is very important, but to have that space where that is not the first thought, that everyone is more just enjoying everyone else tell stories, that is such a pivot in thinking, because I come from creative writing, which is so, I feel, strict about craft. And again, I'm not saying that craft is not important at all. It is. It's just that should not be the first thing I'm worrying about. But I was worrying about that first in creative writing, just because I knew I was gonna get critique. Um, and so because of these story circles and because of Jabber, I have found that I wanted to perform and tell my own stories. And so I did. I began writing again stories specifically for performing there, not necessarily a short story to be read by a reader, but to be read by me to an audience. And I also wrote a short play for the event. It's just a really fun time. Another thing that allowed me to get back into the groove of making things is really expressing my needs at work. I told them that I felt I needed to get back into being creative, and they listened to me, and that's why I am transitioning to a new position. But again, it's hard, but let's not talk about that right now. And again, the last thing that really brought back the sparkle in my eye, I guess, is making time to write and create, which I honestly have not been doing a lot these past few months. I wish I have been writing more in 2025, but I haven't. But also, I've written more than I did last year and last year. So that is still a win. I finished a play. I revised my short film. I wrote a storytelling piece for Women's Month. I am gonna work on something else soon. I hope. I'm not sure yet what, but that doesn't sound a lot, but that's more than what I usually do. I really had to give the dream of full-time content creation up. I Because I'm not sure that that's really also what I want to do. I don't know if I'm willing to be in the beauty space first and everything else second. I I'm just not so sure about that. So I had to give that up. I'm not saying I don't do beauty content anymore. Sometimes I still do. And I sometimes I do my makeup and I'm like, maybe I should film this, and then I don't because it is so draining to film it. But I don't think it's a forever no. It's just I need to take a step back. Another thing is I realized that I had to be with the right people. Again, because of Mga Apo, the organization, I feel I am with people who have a healthy relationship with making art and writing stories. I I still love the art of critiquing. I still am submitting to workshops and stuff, but um to see to be in a community where people earnestly love stories and love telling stories first before worrying about everything else that comes with it, like prestige, awards, etc., etc. It is so life changing, I think. And I think the last thing, which I also talked about during my talk yesterday, was that having passions or having experiences outside of being a writer and being an artist really helps a lot. Like, really opens your writing up to a whole new thing to explore. Like, for example, I work in the climate space, right? The first 2 years, I was not comfortable writing about any of it because I just am so new and I was so clueless. But now I feel I'm starting to figure out how I can write about it and how I can learn about it as I write. And that's really helpful to have that, to know that you can have other things that you're interested in, you have other hobbies that you will be able to incorporate in your um writing and your art. Yeah, I hope I can continue to accumulate experiences that will help me write stories and tell stories. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've been given recently. I feel happy about the pieces that I've told and written. I'm happy to write again. I'm happy to think of new stories again. I hope that the play that I wrote this year will be staged someday. I have a lot of hopes and dreams for my writing, and I don't know if I want it to be like a full-time thing, but it's just so nice to have time for this thing that I dreamt of for so long again. So yeah, I think that's it for me for Big Girl Brunch tonight, because I am gonna have to edit this still tomorrow and the next day, and then I'm gonna have to upload it. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed my phone story, and I hope this teaches you, or this tells you that one, you don't have to be a full-time artist or full-time writer. Two, you can have like a completely different job. I guess that's also one. Three, evaluate where you put your time, where you dedicate your time, because maybe that's why you can create, because you're doing other things. So yeah, I will leave you with that. I will see you guys next month. Hopefully this makes it to March. I'm like really praying. Future Bern editing Bern. Oh, Future Bern editing Bern. You got this. I believe in you. That's all.